Daily Broadside, day 916. The hell do people eat for breakfast in other countries? We never see what y'all are eating in other countries. Like, I mean, we know what an English breakfast is. It's like eggs and beans and sausages and whatnot. But like in Italy, are they having like a manicotti omelet? Like, what are they doing? What do Chinese people eat for breakfast? Is it rice based? Like, does everybody just eat eggs and some kind of meat and maybe like a pancake or toast or a waffle or fresh toast? Like, we get what the Belgians do, but like most people, what are y'all doing? I don't get it. We never see anything about, you know, you talk about going to Italy and all the food is magnificent and it's just great. It's the greatest handmade pastas. The woman was wearing a damn robe, like a full-on robe, looked like nothing underneath it, walking her baby. Man, put some clothes on, people. Damn it, we're trying to run a society here. But you know what I mean? But then you're like, you don't ever hear me. But what? Like, do we just sleep in and skip breakfast? Or what are we eating for breakfast? You know, I get that the fettuccine and the linguine and all the soups and salads, everything goes with it. It's just gonna be great. But what's in the morning? What are we doing? Because I don't know if I could get up and eat lasagna. You know, some kind of breakfast lasagna. I mean, I guess the French have quiches in the morning. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm debating a Viking river cruise up through Paris, and I'm a little nervous about the food. Of course, I don't guess the cruise necessarily will feed us what they'll eat on land, but at any rate, it's not important. I do a lot of crosswords. It's like my way to decompress. I do online trivia and crosswords, and I do 3 or 4 a day. You know, the other day I did like 20. I was like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I've been doing crosswords since 10 o'clock. But here's the thing, right? The kind of crosswords I like are like, you know, they name the members of ABBA, and you have to put ABBA. You know, you have to know Bjorn, whatever those people's name. Like, I know them when I see them. I just can't say them. But like that's the kind of stuff I like knowing. What is the name of a sewing kit? You know, what is a fencing sword? It's an epi. I like knowing that kind of. It helps my brain, right? I don't like the puns. Okay, I don't like when the clue is like web designer, and I'm like, internet, IT, blah, and then it turns out to be a spider. Like, I can't stand that crap. That annoys the crap out of me. So web designer, like, it should either be like it should be discernible what I'm looking to pick out in my head. I shouldn't have to be like, dude, because it's like a gotcha. Oh, a spider. That's great. They build webs. Oh, that's all. And anyway, so I just say that to say this. I want to find a pun-free crossword book and all. And if you've never done crosswords, man. It when you first start doing them, it's a little weird because there are a lot of continuations of things that you'll see over and over again, you know. And so you won't be able to complete one right off the bat unless you're just like, you know, crazy smart. But eventually it starts to make a lot more sense, and you can do it. And who dumps couches at an old car wash? Like, what is wrong? We're trying to run a civilization. People suck so bad. And nobody wants to carry off your couches because you bought the couch. You get rid of the couch. You suck. Anyway, I go to Lowe's yesterday because I needed a pane of glass cut. As I was reglazing a window pane, you know, one of those old windows that got the glazing putty and all, and that had been kicked out by a small child. And so I go there and I needed a custom glass cut, right? And I get there to the glass cutting area, which it's always a pleasure when you actually have somebody that can, you know, come to the glass cutting area, because there's not always somebody that can do it. And this one didn't have a button, so I'm having to track somebody down. You're like, need help? That kind of thing. So around the corner comes Ryan, because the guy was like, let me get you somebody. And I'm like, cool, thanks, man. Ryan comes around the corner. Now, I've dealt with Ryan before. I was buying some DeWalt tool a while back, and I could not extricate myself from the conversation with Ryan. I think he's on the spectrum. He just doesn't shut up. And he wants to tell you everything there is to know about what I already know about. You know, like, I hate that, right? So Ryan comes around the corner, and so I immediately take the defensive, and I've just got an a-hole look on my face. You know, I'm just, hi guys, you need some glass cut? You know, I'm like, yeah, And I'm just being standoffish and angry with the hopes that he like senses it and realizes I don't want to play today, okay? And I don't want to engage with him. And so he's like, okay, we can get that for you. What do you know the dimensions? And I'm like, no, I just want you to just randomly cut some glass, and I'm gonna take it back to the house and hope it fits, you moron. Yes, it's 7 1/8, 12 9/16. So he goes back there and he starts measuring it, and I'm like, what are the odds that people that work at Lowe's can read a tape measure, you know? And he's like, I was right. They can't. At least Ryan can't. And he's got his little gloves attached to his belt, all his flair and everything, and his little smock. And he starts talking about how he's got to go to the eye doctor this week. Just randomly, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about your eyes, dude. I was like, our last interaction made me hate your eyes. You know, I hate you. And that's a strong word, but you've pulled it out of me, right? And so he's like, yeah, I gotta go to the eye doctor, you know, and they'll dilate and it'll be difficult to drive. Stay away from the Haynes Mall Boulevard area on Thursday from 11 to 2. And I'm like, and I'm just staring at him like he's a dog with two heads, you know. And so he keeps talking and he's like, all right, and he gets it lined up. And I want to be like, it's just a damn cutting wheel. You score it, you crack it. Like, I want to do this myself. I think I'm just going to start cutting the glass myself. What's the most they're going to ask me to leave, you know, or ask me to stop, you know? And so he opens up the little acrylic doors they got, the safety area. And, I understand the safety and the litigious nature of the world we live in, but it's a little silly. You know, you got people walking around with flags every time they got to move something. You know, if you can't operate a forklift without just turning your head, looking around, you need a flag girl. I just don't get it. But anyway, so he opens up the acrylic doors. He's like, all right, I like to let everybody just second guess me. And I walk over and I'm like, he's cutting the 7 1/8, you know? And I'm like, that's 7 3/8. And I move it. Like, I physically move the glass. I'm like, right there. He's like, okay, I got you. So he cuts it. And then he's like, and then the size I needed, there was a 10 by 12 was the smallest, right? So we couldn't use that because I needed a 12 9/16. So he started, well, I have to use this and this and this. And I'm like, won't that 12 by 16 work? Because he's like, it's like 3 times the price. I'm like, and the 10 by 12 was like $450, right? The next step up was 12 by 16. It was like $650. The one he was using was like $14. And I'm like, why can't we use 12 and 16ths? I'm not a mathematician, but pretty sure you can get 7 1/8 to 12 9/16 out of 12 by 16. He's like, well, if I had any, he's got that kind of, and I'm like, just cut the damn thing. I'm like, whatever. And so then he gets the 12 9/16. Dude's got 12 and 13/16. I'm like, I'm like, and I'm trying to like mock him without, but I don't want to mock him so overtly that he, engages with me further. But it's kind of like a passive mocking. I'm like, yeah, that's 12 and 13/16. It's kind of a big difference. And I slide it back. Oh, okay. And he's like, you guys got any big projects coming up? And I'm like, or you're working on? I'm like, yeah, we do. More than we can handle. Like, what? What, you going to come help us? Like, it's just so stupid, right? And I want to like throw Ryan into like a large body of water, and it's not important what I want to do. But like, so I get done with, and then Ryan invites me to their free chicken day. He's like, you got a pro account? I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, what do you know about our complimentary day tomorrow where we're having a chicken, you can come out and eat chicken? And I'm like, I'm not going to Lowe's to eat fried chicken. That just doesn't sound appetizing to me. All I'm saying is, like, Ryan, you need a job where you don't deal with the public. That's what I've rambled on enough. I've given enough time to Ryan. At any rate, y'all have a good one. I'm gonna go count to 10 and make it 100 later.